Friends, I am going to share with you a science read aloud to go with Ms. McQueen's science composting experiment. So we are learning all about how we can be better global citizens. So that means how we can be kinder to our world and more caring and compassionate to others and help our earth live longer, help our earth and our community succeed, our global community, the whole world community succeed. Okay, the story, actually the nonfiction book we are going to read is called Garbage Helps Our Garden Grow, and it's a compost story. Your learning target for this lesson is I can listen to a nonfiction book and remember key details. Your language target is I can use complete sentences when I talk to someone at home about this book. I'm just like every read aloud we do, read aloud lesson, I have some words to know and pictures that go with those words and definitions so you can help better understand the book and the learning from the book. So the first word is compost, and I know that Ms. McQueen will have defined this as well in her lesson of the experiment. So we're going to revisit that. Compost is a mixture of food and plant waste, garbage, used to improve garden soil. So we're going to learn all about how we can, instead of throwing our food into the regular trash, the regular garbage, we can save our food and plant waste and put it into a compost. And in Seattle, we actually can compost through the city of Seattle. We can put our compost waste into bins, and the city of Seattle actually takes it to a compost site. The next word is moldy. Moldy is when fungus grows on the surface of a plant or animal materials such as food. So here you see strawberries that are starting to grow that fungus, that moldy texture, moldy component to them, starting to go bad. Another word that we're going to come across in this book is rotting. Rotting is when vegetables start to go bad. They turn mushy and brown. So it's a little hard to see, but there are some watermelons and bananas, and they're starting to just turn really mushy and brown and bad. Not edible anymore. They would not taste good. The next word is pitchfork. Pitchfork is a long, sharp tool that is shaped like a fork and used in farming and gardening. So we're coming across this in the book when an adult is using this tool to turn the compost over, to roll the compost over as it starts to become soil. Moist means slightly or somewhat wet. So in the book, one of the people puts water onto the compost, makes it moist in order to help the decomposition process, the breaking down of the food and plant waste in order to create minerals, healthy parts for the soil to make the soil rich. And then the next word is decay, and decay means to rot. So we'll come across that in the book too. So it's a chemical process that happens when something starts to go bad. And I'm saying go bad, but I mean it in the terms of where we're not eating it anymore, but it starts to be helpful at that point to put in the compost and be good nutrients, be good food for our soil. And this, we're going to learn more about how we can put this food into the compost in order to create soil. And then it's circular. We put this compost-rich soil into our garden and helps our new plants grow. So we're going to learn all about that. And then the last word is landfill. We're going to talk more about this later. When I was looking at pictures of this, it honestly really made my heart hurt because we are killing our earth by how much waste, how much garbage we throw away. And one part that we can do individually in our homes is to compost. We can throw our food waste into a compost bin at home, or we can make sure that we can help our parents to make sure that our food waste goes into our city compost, because that will help our community. It'll help our soil, and it'll help feed our community as well, because it'll help our gardens, our garden plants and our garden plant foods to grow rich. Okay, so the words again are compost, moldy, rotting, pitchfork, moist, decay, and landfill. Okay, now I'm going to full screen and share the book with you. Garbage helps our garden grow, a compost story. And this is a nonfiction book. It's written by Linda Gassler, and photographs are by Shelley Rotner. At our house, we grow lettuce and tomatoes, pumpkins and potatoes, strawberries, sunflowers, cucumbers, and cauliflowers. And we use garbage to do it. This is where it starts, in our compost bin. It's a big box, but amazing things happen there. First, we collect the garbage. Cantaloupe rinds, Dad's coffee grinds from breakfast, leftover lettuce from lunch, old broccoli from the fridge, and peanut shells from our snack. Here it goes. We toss it all in. Here's a moldy jack-o'-lantern we carved from Halloween. It doesn't look like much anymore, but it's still good for something. It's good for the compost, so we dump it in. All fall and winter, our pumpkins will stay here, just rotting away. We also toss in grass clippings and fallen leaves from our yard, old chopped up cucumber vines from the garden, and all our wilted flowers, daisies, dahlias, sweet peas, and sunflowers. Layer after layer, leftovers from our plates and leftovers from our garden all end up in our compost bin. Sometimes I spray the pile with water to keep it nice and moist. Sometimes our friends come and help in the garden. We all watch when Mom takes her pitchfork and tosses a whole pile. Worms help in our compost bin too. They eat the rotting food and leaves, and slowly the food and leaves change. Sometimes you can feel heat coming from the compost. If you dig down deep, you can sometimes even see steam. That's when you know the garbage is changing. It's called decay. That's nature's way of recycling. Amazing. The compost doesn't even smell garbage. It smells fresh, like earth. And it doesn't look like garbage. It looks like dark brown soil. Now it's ready to go in our garden. We fill our shovels and spread the compost all around. Then we mix and dig, mix and dig. Now we plant lettuce and tomatoes, pumpkins and potatoes, strawberries, sunflowers, cucumbers, and cauliflowers. Look what sprouted in our compost bin. Pumpkin seeds from our old jack-o'-lantern. We take the little seedlings and plant them too. By fall, they'll grow into long green vines with big orange pumpkins. Compost makes the earth rich. It helps our garden grow and grow and grow. The more we compost, the less garbage we throw out, and less garbage ends up in the landfill. Composting is good for the earth in more ways than one. Picture of a landfill too. So that's how composting works. It keeps on going around and around, from garbage to compost to garden, again and again and again. The end. Back cover of the book. Okay, friends, now I am going to share with you some questions. So some questions for the book that you can have a discussion with your parent are, and this is something we've talked about in class too, what can go into the compost? Remember to use complete sentences when you're talking with your home turn and talk partner. The second question is, why is composting important? Why is it important to our community? Maybe just our neighborhood, but then also our community. And 3, I talked a little bit about this in the lesson. In Seattle, can you compost if you don't have a garden or a backyard? How can you help? In Seattle, how can you help if you don't have a garden or a backyard? I don't have a garden and I don't have a backyard, but I do compost. Okay. Bye, friends.